Bruce Lane.
Here.
Sarah Payne.
Here.
Peter Kemp. Here. Dave Schlemmer. Here. Logan Zuber. Here.
All right, I can confirm we do have a quorum. Has everybody had an opportunity to review the minutes from last month's meeting? I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Moving on, any need to modify the agenda tonight? Okay. Seeing no old business, we'll move on to new business. I'll go ahead and open up the public hearing for BZA Standard Variance 2026-014. Staff report, please.
Thank you, sir. James Carteret, City Planner for Auburn. So this request is an application that was filed by Kermit Mays Jr. and Karen Wallace. They own the property there at 1901 Maple Street. They're requesting a variance of development standard to allow an increase in the maximum cumulative square footage allowed for accessory structures upon their property at 1901 Maple Street. The maximum square footage allowed for accessory buildings is based on the footprint area of the home, which this home happens to be, the footprint of the home is 1,277 square feet. The requested cumulative square footage of their accessory buildings, which would be an existing garage, and the proposed new building would be a little bit over 2,500 square feet. So they're asking for a variance for that difference to allow the increase to the 2,504 square feet. The property itself, highlighted there at the corner of Auburn Drive and Maple. It's you can see it's an oversized lot. It's a 1 acre property, so it's certainly the largest lot within this subdivision area. The proposed accessory structure, that's an aerial view, shows the existing home and then the existing detached garage, which will remain on the property where the driveway is at. The proposed structure at 40 foot by 50 foot would be in their backyard area. They have gates within the fenced area that would provide access to pull things in and out, if you would, of the structure. The building itself, proposed architectural view of what the building will look like. The property itself is zoned residential. It's zoned R2 residential. A few photographs that were taken of the property. This is Maple Street looking west. It shows the gates that would be in the provide access to the accessory structure in the backyard. This is just showing a little different view, the existing driveway, the boat and trailer. I think part of the proposed use for the accessory building is so they have a place to store their the boat and trailers and other things, vehicles they have. This is actually just from the fence looking at the backyard area. So it's a very large backyard, fully enclosed by fence, but it shows the open area where the building would be at. And this is simply an aerial view of the property. I will talk briefly about the property directly to the south, because I think that has some impact on what is proposed for this particular property. We did not receive any public input from the notices or the legal notice that was sent. So again, the building is proposed to be 40 foot by 50 foot. The Unified Development Code specifically states that the cumulative square footage of allowed accessory structures shall not exceed 100% of the footprint of the home. So they're allowed to have up to three accessory buildings. The garage will remain, which is 504 square foot in area. And so the maximum size that would be allowed for a new structure is only 773 square foot. They're requesting a 2,000 square foot structure. As I mentioned earlier, looking at the adjacent property to the south, they have a very large accessory structure. It's 30 foot by 40 foot. And their cumulative square footage exceeds what the UDO requirement would be today. The difference is when that individual constructed their building, the UDO requirement as it is today was not in place. So even though it's a newer structure, they built it before 2019, and they were fully compliant at the time. now listed as non-conforming because it doesn't comply with the UDO, but it is still there, still a very large structure, but doesn't appear to be out of place as I see it. Again, that structure is back behind the existing home, just as this proposed structure would be. I mentioned the location of the structure and the fence with the gate opening. The owner does not intend to construct a driveway at this time. They are not required to have a driveway to the structure. Again, they are required to have for the garage, because that's where the required parking is for the home. So they have the required spaces in the garage and in the driveway. So that is required to be a hard surface, which it is. If they were to put in a driveway to the accessory structure, it does have to be a hard surface. And I have talked about that with the owner, and the owner has indicated if their intent is to put one in, it would be concrete. They'd probably redo the driveway to the garage as concrete. I just wanted to point that out. It's not a requirement, but if they do place one, it has to be a hard surface. I mentioned the property size. I think that makes this property unique for this neighborhood. It is an acre in size. It's more than double the size of other properties along Maple Street. I think another important factor is the lot coverage. So right now, with that size of property or size of buildings and size of property, their lot coverage is a little over almost 8%. Well, they're allowed to be up to 40%. Even with the addition of the accessory building, they're still a little over 12%. So they well exceed the open space requirements for a residential lot. The setbacks exceed what is required. So they're placing it 30 foot from the rear, 20 foot from the side. So trying to provide plenty of room between the building and the fence and property lines. The applicant has submitted quite a bit of supplemental documents for this request, providing photos and other information. I'm sure they'll present that on their own. So in the recommendation, staff looks at the size of the property, 1 acre, which is well above the typical lot size. Lot coverage, is going to be right at 12%, well below the maximum allowed. So there's ample room to place a large accessory structure in the rear yard. With the adjacent property and adjacent structure, as I look at the property at a location where they want to put the structure, I don't think it's going to look out of place. I don't think it's going to, it is a bigger structure, but I don't think it's going to change the character of the area, change the character of that street. I think as proposed, it would be appropriate for the property. So staff is supporting this variance request. We've submitted proposed findings for your consideration.
Thank you very much. Any questions for staff?
Okay.
Appreciate it. Would the applicant like to come and speak for the project?
Thank you. I'm Eric Weber, attorney in Auburn. I'm here representing Kermit Mays Jr. and Karen Sue Williams. We did with our application submit a lot of supplemental information. I'll just provide that. You can flip through it. Part of the record. A lot of pictures of the neighborhood. Pictures of. It's a neighborhood that I would describe as people have a lot of things in their yard. Cars, trailers, things parked, things of that nature. And we submit that just to illustrate part of the purpose. The Mays have purchased this property. Just for the record, that's our application, and just to make that part of the record here today, previously filed. But the Mays have done a lot with the property, the home that was there. That they purchased. Obviously, they made some significant improvements to that property, put in a very nice fence. With the next slide. The accessory structure is going to look something like this, basically. Okay, again, this is a photographic illustration, and yes, it does exceed 100% of what the main structure is. This house is a mid 20th century or early 20th century house that was built, and it's built in an area that's not like our subdivisions that we have today, which the UDO is really designed for. We have some very large lots here in Auburn Junction, including the lot next door. Houses today are probably a lot bigger. They have their garages attached to them, which would increase the footprint and may, in most cases, if there was a house this size, they'd probably fit into the UDO as it's written today. Certainly think they would fit into the former UDO that was basically based mostly on lot size. That's how Mr. Carper, who is just to the south, was able to get his accessory structure in, which is very similar to what Mr. Mays and Ms. Wallace will have in their accessory structure. If we go to the next slide. Again, this is basically showing you the lot size. Again, this is a very large lot. Again, it's in the city of Auburn. It's just a large lot. It's not what you would find in a typical subdivision. And again, these UDOs, when they're written, they can't take into account every type of deviation that you have in a city like Auburn, especially somewhere like Auburn Junction, which was platted in the late 1800s, 1900s. I mean, it was one of the first areas of town that was platted. And so again, you can see that we got a very large lot here with a turn of the century, mid-century, 20th century home on it. Go to the next slide. I will tell you that we have 100%, I believe 100%, we may be missing one person, of not only the adjacent property owners, but everybody who lives on Maple Street, including the young lady who lives behind the property that is going in the direction towards Metal Technologies. So we've got 100%. Everybody's in favor of it. There's a couple neighbors here in the audience. They're in favor of it. The party's realtor who sold the home provided a letter giving us some good evidence, I think, of why this would not have any adverse effect on the property values whatsoever, in her opinion. And again, kind of reiterating our point that this is a unique property and their ability to use it is somewhat inhibited by the design of this UDO. And again, that's why we're here, obviously, is because we're looking for a variance. So we'll go to the next slide. Again, what are some of the factors that we're looking at? If you look at homestructures.com or any other type of site on the internet, they'll tell you most will tell you 2,400 square foot is a common residential type pole building, not industrial, not a shop. That's that 1,800 to 2,500 range. This is 2,000. Okay, again, we understand that because they have a detached garage, it's considered to be larger, but this is a 2,000 square foot stick built pole building. What's going to be in there? We've got a truck, 57 Chevy, a tractor, trailer, fishing boat, ski boat, and then again, there's some areas, to allow yourself to have a little work area and allow yourself to move around. So again, it may seem like it's a really big building, and it is a little bit bigger. Again, it's not that much bigger per se than Mr. Carpenter's. But in order to get the stuff off of the property, off of the street, from the pictures you saw, this is kind of what it would look like. Go to the next slide. Long-standing policy of that cities and municipalities have legal precedent and legal right to have ordinances in place to police and have good standards in the community. Would this be something that you would put in a regular subdivision? No, of course, the lot coverage would become an issue. There's a lot of issues like that. Okay, that's why you have that UDO. This doesn't go on a new addition in the east side in Hunter's Glen or somewhere like that. It's just not going to work. Here, it's different. It's a different animal because of its location. Not to mention, it's really surrounded all by industrial, folks. I mean, every side of it's industrial, including a firing range. I lived down there for about 2.5 years while I was rented from Frenchie, if you know Frenchie, while I was building a house. And believe me, between trains, the whistle at Metal Tech, and the machine gun fire, believe me, it's not quite like living out in the country where it's real quiet per se. So, but again, that's the area. And the Mays like the area because they've got this nice lot. They got this great lot, and they can really do some really cool things with it. And boy, I'll tell you, living down there, seeing what they did with that house is amazing. So go to the next slide. Again, supporting evidence. One of the things that we have is a letter from a realtor who is here, licensed realtor, who has indicated again, this is not going to detract from the community. It's not going to have any adverse effect on property values. It's not going to create any issues with air quality, noise quality, site quality, any type of enjoyment of any other property. Very clearly, she would say that, and I think any other realtor or any other person who would be in that neighborhood looking at that, I think would support that. Go to the next slide. Again, so we have our findings based on that evidence and based on what we submitted in our application and based on the information that came from staff. Number one, we believe the size of the accessory structure is supported by the lot size. It will be within a fenced-in area. There is no evidence of any negative impact on the community. Structures in an area of mixed uses, such as industrial, the structure will not place any safety issues. And there is no evidence that there will be any activity that would impact the normal use of neighboring properties on Maple Street. And I don't think you'd get 100%, which is in our application, or near 100%. We're missing one, maybe one that was on vacation. But not just adjoining properties, but everybody who lives in that neighborhood has signed indicating they're okay with it. Go to the next slide. Finding two, we believe we talk about the use and value of the area adjacent. We believe that the evidence in this case supports that the accessory structure will not have any adverse effect on property values because the visual impact is minimal. Again, large lot size, as Jim suggested, it's going to be at the back. It's also going to be have very large setbacks. I mean, we're talking, I don't know what that slide showed. It was 20 foot maybe from Mr. Carper's property line. So again, substantial setbacks, plus it's behind a fence. And again, it's along a major thoroughfare. So again, most people driving by are driving by 30 miles an hour or a train's going by. This is not something that's going to do anything to create any type of negative impact or do anything that would be diminish values. And we haven't seen any evidence or anybody who would indicate that in this case. And then last slide. This is the one that's really the issue, really. I think it all comes down to this. The strict application of the terms and conditions of the ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property because the size of the lots as compared to the size of this early to mid 20th century home. Again, some of us have lived in early to mid century homes, the ones where the closets are like broom closets, and you got the one car garage, and it's 1,200 square feet. Much different than what you see today. Much different. Okay, this one just happens to be on an acre lot. It's a house that was built much differently on an acre lot, and so because of that, the UDO creates this unique limitation, and that's the hardship. They can't utilize that lot like they would maybe with a house that was built more recently, because that size of their home is affecting that calculation. And plus they have a detached garage. Again, now you have many garages that are attached. So the lot coverage is less than 5%. When I mean lot coverage, I mean the structure itself. And the lot's larger than most lots. The current UDO does not anticipate this type of situation with this, what I would call below average type square foot on a primary lot that's this size. And again, with the lot being fenced in, it will allow for significant setbacks, the ability to properly store personal property items off the driveway and street. Requires a structure about this size. Could it be a little smaller? Maybe, but when you get into this type of thing, it's usually a 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500. Okay, 2,000 is what's going to work for the reason why we showed you earlier, and it's only slightly larger than what would otherwise be allowable under the UDO. If, I will add the caveat, if the garage was attached, again, that really creates an issue because of that being considered to be an accessory structure, and hey, that's the breaks. So again, the UDO in its most current form does not take that type of situation into account. And so that's why we have this body. And so we're asking you to approve this. You don't have to adopt those findings. We think those are good ones, but we think the ones that were proposed by staff are equally as good. And so we'd be just fine if you adopted those findings and approved this petition for the Mays, for Mr. Mays and Ms. Wallace, so that they can be able to construct this accessory structure. And they're here to answer any questions that you may have. And I certainly can too, if you have any.
Thank you, Mr.
I have one question.
Yeah.
I have no problem at all with that being a storage building.
Mhm.
We had the problem of approving storage buildings and then businesses creeping in or
Mhm.
a weld shop or whatever. There's no.
I remember the case.
There's been a couple.
I can even name the person. I remember it well. But yes,
No aspirations for.
Well,
businesses.
Mr. Mays is retired, and he has no aspirations to do anything other than work on his Harley Davidson, his 57 Chevy, and to take care of his boats that he uses for fishing, things of that nature. And his wife, Ms. Wallace, is far too busy working her full-time job to do anything else. Is that probably an accurate reflection? Yeah. Now, again, hey, could they sell this house and somebody go in there and do something like that? Sure they could. They could do it over at Rich's house next door. They certainly don't have that intention. And if they did, I have every confidence that this fine staff here would find out about that and would enforce that. That's why you have the ordinance. So no, the answer to them is no, but I do understand your concern.
Appreciate it. Anything else for the applicant? Anybody else like to speak for or against the project? Hearing none, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Staff discussion.
Makes sense. That's not
Yep.
wrong.
And it's the definition, edge of town, you know, once you get past that, you're out in the fields.
Yeah, it's where, the location is the selling point for me. It definitely fits in that area. If it were to get approved, the concrete approach on that, would that be an administrative approval through the plan office?
That would be.
Okay. All right, hearing no more else, I will move to findings of fact.
You have 3 findings of fact before you, and I would just ask if you want to adopt the staff's findings of fact as read for approval, as you've read for approval.
Motion.
Motion for that.
Move to approve the findings of fact on the affirmative for BZA standard variance 2026 dash. Nope.
Negative as presented.
Oh, excuse me. Move to approve. Move to
Move to adopt
the findings of fact as presented for BZA standard variance 2026 -014.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, I'll entertain a motion on approval.
Move to approve BZA standard variance 2026 -014.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck with your project.
Nice job. Standard variance.
Oh,
Yeah, they've done an amazing.
all right.
Oh yeah, I want that. It's got a lot of secret information on it.
Let me save just the secret part.
Okay.
All right, we have no other new business, so moving on to reports. Anything from the board?
No.
Staff? Fantastic. City attorney? No mayor? All right, motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much. I forgot,